It's your birthday soon. Is there anything in particular you would like?
Well, I've actually been thinking about that a little bit, and I was thinking maybe, just maybe, I could get another watch.
Another watch? Don't you have enough watches already?
Well, I've actually been watching this online documentary series. It's been hosted by a doctor, and he told me something. He said,
James, you should buy just one more watch.
Hello, you're watching James. My name's James. You're watching me, and I am talking about watches. Yes, it is actually my birthday. Yes, I actually got a watch for my birthday, and thank you very much for my wife and Jody participating in that introduction of the episode here. It was actually based on a real conversation I had with my wife. Now, I love Hamilton watches, and I love Hamilton field watches. It's the first line of watches I think about when I think about Hamilton. And I've been buying a couple of them recently, and I really like them. But I don't love them. I haven't had that emotional connection with them. I can hold them in my hand and think, yeah, that's a great watch. I think it looks fantastic. But I have no real huge desire to wear them, and I'm not really sure quite why. Well, I think I know a few reasons why. And this is why I think I've now found the best Hamilton field watch. Well, it's not actually a field watch. It's from the American Classic range, and it's the Hamilton Railroad. Not even part of the Hamilton field watch range, but it has, for me, a dressy version of a field watch. It's missing some elements that make it a field watch, and that's why it's not a field watch. But there's a few things why I picked this watch, and there's a few reasons why I think I'm going to connect with this one straight away. And if you want to buy one of these for yourself, well, you should go to ashford.com. That's where I bought mine. I didn't get any discounts. This is not a free watch. I paid what list price was on ashford.com. And I bought from them because they are by far the cheapest place online to find them. If you go to Hamilton themselves, these watches cost around 1,400 Australian dollars. On ashford.com, they're about half of that. So well worth checking out other prices online. Don't pay full RRP for any watch if you don't have to. But it's certainly time to do a first impressions of what I think is going to be one of my favourite watches in my collection. So let's flip the camera around and let's check out my new Hamilton. So being from ashford.com, this watch came with the Hamilton travel case, a manual and its warranty card there. It doesn't come with a box, probably one of the reasons why they're able to get it a little bit cheaper. But when I picked this watch up, there were 6 things that stood out to me instantly. 6 things that I thought, wow, yes, they are my first impressions. And it started off with the dial. We have a silver dial with blue on it. All that internal sort of chapter ring there is blue, and that second hand is blue. And I do particularly like silver and blue. They're my favorite colors. And when we put them together, they really create something a bit special for me, which is why I think it looks fantastic. Secondly, that stood out to me was probably a little bit of a negative because check out that. Can you tell me what the time is? Yeah, legibility on this one. This is not a super legible watch, and that did stand out to me. It doesn't bother me too much. I don't mind turning the watch a little bit just to figure out what time it is, but it's certainly not a legible watch. Third thing that stood out to me is the case profile. Check that out. And check how it's like a 3 sandwich. It's like we got the bezel there, we got the case, we got the case back, and it's polished with this lovely brushing, and it's like a vertical brushing coming down, and it sticks out. Look at that, it's gorgeous. Leading me into the fourth thing, which is the lugs. Check out the detail on that lug, that little sort of step down. I love that. I think that is fantastic. It is really a feature that I absolutely love. Fifth thing that stood out to me is the black strap. It's leather, it's made really well, but I'm not probably a big fan of black straps, especially on this one. I think, yes, it's got a dressy nature to it. I understand that, but I think it dresses it up a bit too much. I think a brown or a tan would have suited it better. I'm going to keep it on this strap for the moment. I'm going to see if I sort of settle into it, but I think perhaps another coloured strap would be better. But that leads me into the last thing that stood out to me, and it is this clasp. This is about the 3rd or 4th deployment clasp that I've owned, and this is by far the best one. The best looking, the best quality, and the functionality as well. Look how nicely that is made. It's like the Hamilton H, double button, really good. And you'll see that little sort of a tag there which clips into the top there. It's at the right height that it just clicks in easy. I've had others where you sort of need to push down a bit harder. This one works beautifully, and wow, yeah, does it look good, and it's really nice on wrist as well. But why have I called this the perfect field watch from Hamilton, even though it's not a field watch? To me, it's a bit of a dressy sort of field watch, because you can see there are some field watch aesthetics there to it with the sort of inner and outer sort of chapter rings there. There is no loom whatsoever. It definitely has a dressy aspect to it. This is not a field watch. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to tell you that this is a field watch. It's not. But it does remind me of a field watch, and it has some of the parts to the field watch aspect to it that I really like, except for I think it looks better and it has better dimensions. This is a 40mm case diameter, which is what I really wanted out of those other field watches from Hamilton that I owned. I know there are some Hamilton field watches with a 40mm case diameter, but they don't really speak to me. This one speaks to me, and wow, is it beautiful. And it is absolutely beautiful on wrist. And it's nice to know that it has the H10 Hamilton movement in there with that sort of 70-hour power reserve. Not only is it a good movement, heaps of power reserve, just a nice sort of thing to have on wrist. Wow, does that look good? Wow, does that look good? Wow, do I like this watch? Yes, I do. Now, I'm going to keep this one on wrist like I normally do for at least 4 to 6 weeks. But whilst you wait for that one, I bet you check out a couple of these videos of my other Hamilton watches.